Hello, this is AKGshyhaida again. I'm just going to do a deck profile on a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, Glad Beast. Started off 2 Liquaris, 1 Darius, 2 Quest, bestiari, Radiari, 2 Murmelows, 2 Hoplomys, 1 Secutor, and 3 Test Tigers, 2 Prismas, a Stratos. Pretty straightforward with the monsters. I like to main 2 Murmelows because at the time when you're only maining 1, sometimes you might draw into it or it might get destroyed. It is one of the most important monster cards in the deck, aside from bestiari and Gizaris, but yeah, it's one that really helps out with the deck, so might if you're only running 1, you might consider moving up to 2. And for this deck list, I know I'm maining D-Fissures. I'll get to it, but I think I'm going to take out the Prismas and Stratos and the Hero Engine in it, because it doesn't really need it, but it does speed up the deck with the Prisma and Test Tiger combo. But I know with the whole D-Fissure combo, it does counter a lot of decks in the format right now. Alright, moving on, I'll start out with the traps. Got 3 War Chariots, 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Solemn Warnings, 1 7 Tools, 3 Wapaku, 3 Dimensional Prisons, and spells 3 D-Fissures. Good thing about this card that the way I use it in the deck within this format, not a lot of people think about, but as long as it does remove like at least 1 card, it comes in use. It kind of sets the other person back. And the other reason for this card, which makes it perfect in this deck, it's not removing any of the like good spell or traps in the deck where I could get back a War Chariot, so I don't really have to worry about that. Plus, this will take the heat from the mysticals that people run rampant with. Like, some people might play 3 mysticals. This will take the heat, and you'll still have your other backfield cards like Dimensional Prison or Solemn Warning or even War Chariot to help out your monsters. So this is it's a pretty useful card in this format, because there's so many spell destruction that it comes in use, and it's a good way to use the card in this deck. I got 1 Forbidden Lance, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, 2 Proving Grounds, and an E-Call. And as I was saying earlier, to alter the deck to go for more of the D-Fissure deck build, probably that would free up 4 slots in my deck. And I'm running, I think, 42 right now in the main deck, so I just have to fill 2 more cards, then I can easily just throw in 1 more Liquari and 1 other card too. For my extra deck, I have 1 Stardust, 1 Colossal Fighter. My friend was using most of my good synchro cards because he entered the tournament last week, as was I. So I wasn't really using the best synchro cards, but it was more for like Monster Reborn because I'm not maining any tuners. So yeah, it wasn't like setting me back so much that I needed the synchros. Also Black Rose, fusions. I got 2 Heraclinos, 3 Gizaris, 1 bestiari, and Chimera Tech Fortress. This was just main because again, Monster Reborn, there's always that slight chance. But I am siding one Cyber Dragon, and I didn't really want to bother siding it in also by keeping it in my side deck. Utopia, Zenmaines, Leviathan Dragon. Can't really see it. This camera isn't that great, but I'm just using a webcam. Levier, Black Ray Lancer, really good tech card. I haven't really gotten to try it out, but it looks pretty much like a, what's it called, Murmelo plus. I know it could be, it's pretty sick because it has a lance too, and like Forbidden Lance really does go good with this deck too. Side deck, I got Octavius. This is another tech card I use. Really good card for getting over monsters, plus you do have that spell destruction when it's summoned. So, I mean, if you're just gonna ram it into something big, or you could send it back to the deck instead of discarding. It does give you a -1, but since they already give you the +1 on spell destruction, it's like a 1-for-1. So you could keep it on the field by discarding, or I don't know, you could just send it back for another tag in. So not a lot of people really use it, but I like to use it. DD Crow, Snowman Eaters. You could also go into the Black Ray Lancer with that too. If I side in and I see there's like, what would be a useful deck against? Oh, E-Heroes, yeah, it's good against that because they'll attack into it. Since it has a high defense, it'll stay on the field, destroy their monster. So, kind of useful. Cyber Dragon, as I was saying earlier, yeah. 2 Kaikos, 1 Kinetic, 1 Puppet Plant, 1 Chain Disappearance. I would have 2, but as I was saying, I was lending my other deck, or I was lending a deck to my friend, so I had to split up some of my good cards, good sides, and put in a system down. 2 Burden of the Mighties. Few people play dragons at the tournaments, so figured maybe side out some D-Fissures and put these into reduce their attack by a lot, because most of their stuff is high level monsters. And 2 Mystical Space. So a side deck wasn't that strong because I was splitting my cards so I could build 2 decks, but I don't know, there's some alterations I can make for the next time I go. I haven't been really playing Glad Beast in a while, since like last year, because I've been building my collection and playing more new decks, kind of like agents and TGs and the whole plant stuff. I know. Maybe when I don't really want to invest too much into Yu-Gi-Oh right now because I'm still just getting into Magic. But one of the main cards that sets me back from other players is not having any tour guides, since that's so expensive. Just gonna get more expensive too with tour bus. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. I've always been fine with like not using every card, or like the main card that sets every other deck on par. So I mean, just makes me feel better when I beat them, because my deck could be better, but I don't really care. So another discussion too was like, if you really get frustrated with decks that you think should win all the time, or at least most of the time, it's always good to sit back and run decks that are lower tier, so then when you do win, it does feel better because you actually put, I don't know, I say if you're playing Chaos Plants and you're just not winning all the time, maybe you could try a lower tier deck and just be more creative, so when you do win with that deck, it just feels more accomplishing, because like Chaos Plants this format, they're so mass run that I don't know, it's just like you expect to win, and when you do win, it doesn't feel as great as putting a lot more effort into it and being creative. So yeah, this is my kind of version. I know it's not really the most original deck, but it's definitely not one of the decks that's run as rampant as others. So I'd love to hear some feedback. Try test it out if you want. Alright, and I'll catch you later. Thank you for watching.